2011 started out as what looked to be a really good year for IPOs. We were seeing a lot of activity, a lot of enthusiasm for IPOs. By the end of the year, that had kind of slowed down, and if you look at the numbers, IPOs in 2011 versus 2010 were actually down 20% in volume and 9% in value. As we go into 2012, we've had 42 IPOs that have priced so far in the first quarter of 2012, and the pipeline for IPOs for this year looks really strong right now. As you look at the environment in 2011 and early 2012, it still is a really volatile market. We have some successful IPOs, we have some others that have been challenged since the initial public offering, and companies really need to consider the market dynamics as they're considering their IPO. And you need to consider it in terms of how you are positioning your story, whether or not there's going to be any delays, what's happening within your industry and how that may impact things. And two things that we think companies really need to be looking at this point in time is, again, your story, your roadshow presentation, how your company is being positioned, working closely with your bankers to think about the event itself and the transaction, the IPO, but also what your story needs to be on a long-term basis, and how you're going to be communicating that message after the IPO. The second thing that companies need to be thinking about is also targeting. Your bankers are obviously going to be working with you to get the right investors into the initial public offering, generate interest for the company for that transaction. There are things that a company can be doing in parallel at the same time, however, to target the right investors that may want to be in the stock a year from now, post-IPO. And you can do that in parallel with your bankers, and you really want to do that in order to set the right foundation and make sure that you can kind of hit the ground running from the IPO onwards.